You wanna know what I'm upset about? The fact I was not able to get my reactions for Agatha all along, as I would have done reactions already, but I have been busy for the past 2 months in September and October making costumes for both Optimus Prime and Venom. And yeah, in my recent video where I talked about the Marvel slate for 2025, my internet was cutting out the Twitch stream where I was filming my reactions for Agatha, and just basically I was losing footage, and if that were to happen, I just watched this entire show off camera. So just... oh god, I need to figure out about my internet situation. Because y'all are wanting me to do reactions for Arcane Season 2, but with my internet screwing with me, I can't promise you that I'll get them. Although I have another suggestion of how to get my reactions for Arcane Season 2. Just that I don't want to use that site again. And what site is it? Oh, webcamera.io, which happens to be the same one I use for when I record reactions for Season 1. And I lost footage for Episode 8. Around that time period. But that's off topic. So, Agatha All Along had wrapped up its 2-episode finale around October 30th, a day before Halloween. And between those 2 days of October 29th and 30th, I was in a rush to catch up with the series. On the 29th, I'd watched the first 2 episodes, and then a day later, I watched the rest. And let me tell you what I had thought about going into the show. So, one, I liked Agatha as a villain from WandaVision, but when I heard that she was getting her own solo series, I was like, okay, do we really need one? I don't know where we could go from there or something.
But yeah, I'm not too hyped to check it out, and I would not be interested, but I'm still gonna check it out, because heck, something could surprise me. Who knows? We'll have to find out.
Basically, I thought it was unnecessary for her to get her own show. And I expected this show to get some hate, like She-Hulk, because it's a female-led project, I guess. I don't know. I would sometimes feel like if there's a female-led project, it would sometimes get hate for some reason, which I find stupid and ridiculous, I guess. Now, tonight, there were some hate videos about this show, but I barely had seen any when this show was coming out. I saw, like, maybe a few before the show's release. But thankfully, I found nothing but positivity for this show. Like, folks loving it. Because this show would be teasing if the Scarlet Witch would be coming back, which I know she's technically dead in the MCU, but come on. Come on, Marvel's gonna find a way to bring her back. But me, I was gonna give it a chance. I wasn't, like, hating on Agatha or anything, just that thought it was unnecessary, but I'll give it a shot. And having to watch all 9 episodes, I want to take back any negative thing I had said about Agatha all along, because, oh my god, this show is surprisingly great. Well, this was necessary to be made as... okay, where do I begin? Because I am honestly shocked to say this, and that is, Agatha All Along was actually a pretty decent show. Hell, and maybe up there with, like, best MCU Disney Plus shows with WandaVision and Loki, especially Loki. Also, if you hadn't already noticed, I got this poster at the theater, which technically behind it is a Nightmare Before Christmas poster, but I was shocked to notice, ooh, I'm actually going to snatch this, so glad I got this poster. Still though, I had binge-watched all episodes as I was trying to catch up before the 2-episode finale. I will say this, the show kind of starts off slow with the first 2 episodes, but I can see why they gave us a 2-episode premiere. But I figured the reason they gave us a 2-episode finale on October 30th was because, oh, we want the show to end in October, not November, because this is a special treat we're giving to the Marvel fans. But no, I don't think that's the reason why they did, because if we had to wait one more week for the finale, let's just say they made the right move releasing the last 2 episodes on the same day. Which, not gonna lie, I like how this show had a 2-episode premiere and a 2-episode finale. But yeah, they basically made the right move releasing the last 2 episodes in the same day, because it would have made sense. There's a good reason why they released the last 2 episodes in the same day, but oh right, I will be bringing up some spoilers for Agatha All Along, so if you've not seen the show, I would actually recommend you checking it out, because it's surprisingly good. Now, I would say I didn't take notes for this, but I kinda did. I mainly was, like, tweeting out my thoughts on each episode on Twitter, mainly just so I could take screenshots of the Twitter emojis, because I happen to be very obsessed with Twitter emojis. And I'm pretty upset we did not get Twitter emojis for Deadpool Wolverine, but we ended up getting them for Agatha All Along. Well, I look forward to the Twitter emojis we shall definitely be getting for next year, as we got Captain America Brave New World, Daredevil Born Again, Fantastic Four, and then Thunderbolts. And plenty of more MCU projects that we are getting for the entire year of 2025. But just to tell you my thoughts on the show as a whole, so yeah, like I said, I liked Agatha Harkness as a villain in WandaVision, but didn't Oh my god! I liked Agatha Harkness as a villain in WandaVision, but didn't think she needed her own show. After watching it, I want to take back any negative thing I had said about Agatha all along, because it's worth a watch, especially around the Halloween season. I had no excitement going into the show, other than I expected to have been pretty much proven wrong about the show's existence, and yeah, I was right, but boy was I surprised with how good it actually was. Agatha All Along is a unique MCU show, and it's definitely perfect to watch around the spooky season. Agatha All Along is what I would say a worthy sequel series to WandaVision, and technically this show is part of the WandaVision trilogy, as we should be getting Vision series next to possibly conclude it, which I am definitely excited for, because one, we need to know where the hell Vision went, and two, freaking Ultron is gonna be in the show. And I just realized we're getting Vision Quest in 2 years. Oh, the 2-year wait's gonna be worth it, baby. But I'm glad I was proven wrong about Agatha All Along, as it's a fun show to watch around October, as I ended up caring about the characters, with Teen, aka Wiccan, being a standout, and with how the show had ended, I'm excited to see what comes next. Season 2, y'all? Now, if I'm being honest, I doubt we'll get a Season 2 of Agatha, but we will see a continuation of how it ended in another series. I'm most likely betting, unless Marvel actually does a Season 2 of Agatha All Along, then, oh well, yay for the fans! I expected to give it an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10, but I ended up giving it a 10 out of 10, which probably a bit much, but my excuse for it is as good as WandaVision, especially with how episode 1 had opened up. Now, we know what happened to her at the end of WandaVision. She was stuck under Wanda's spell, trapped there in Westview, and having to see all the characters from WandaVision, as it had been 3 years, which, God, I miss WandaVision, man. That whole hype train era, I just, take me back to 2021, where we had a crapload of Marvel content, which I feel like 2025 should do the same thing again. But still, though, it was nice seeing everyone back in Agatha All Along. Now, it would make sense for why this felt like a sequel to WandaVision, which it is a sequel to WandaVision, because we see returning characters from Westview, but mainly for the first episode. As for the rest of the series, we're just on the Witch's Row, which there is a twist about that at the very end of the episode, which I was confused at first, but then they fully explained it by the last episode, which, by the way, for once, this did not have a rush finale. Most of these MCU Disney Plus shows always had rush finales, other than Loki. And back then, I was vibing, but now, seeing the complaints, I'm like, oh, damn, they got a point. But I think we can all agree that this show had probably the best finale out of this entire series. And like I mentioned, the show starts off slow, but it gets better at the very end. And like I mentioned earlier, I did end up caring about the characters, as I definitely felt bad that Mrs. Hart was killed off. May she rest in peace. But I definitely was most upset about Alice getting killed off, as Agatha had basically drained her of her power. And then we lost Lycia, if I got her name correctly, around episode 7, which that was a fantastic episode. Now, I was confused at first, but then it all made sense later by the end of it. But hey, at least one of the characters survived at the end, which I am shocked to find out that she's the cousin of freaking Ghost Rider. Which, by the way, when the hell is he coming to the MCU? Is it going to be in the Midnight Suns movie, where we'll finally see MCU Blade in there, and that we'll get a solo movie right after the Multiverse Saga? Like, seriously though, I am dying to see Ghost Rider in the MCU. But still though, I liked all the characters, and I got to care about them, so that's a plus for me. Also, like I mentioned earlier, Teen was a standout for this entire series, and we all knew he was going to be Wiccan as soon as the actor was cast into this show, as it was painfully obvious. Now, sadly, I was slightly spoiled. Well, not slightly, I was almost spoiled every single week on Twitter, but thank God I was not spoiled for the last 2 episodes, because when this happened, I got super hyped up, which, damn it, I wish I got a reaction for! Because I did not think we'd see Wiccan in costume, but my God, he looks fantastic! But Marvel, when are we getting that Young Avengers project? I need it now. I don't care what other people say, it's still an Avengers movie for me. Just, this time it's young kids being the next Avengers or something like that. But still though, when are we getting that Young Avengers movie? Alright, y'all are clearly setting that up from the past few Disney Plus shows. Now, I am slightly confused about how Billy is alive through somebody else's body, because technically, in WandaVision, they were created by Wanda as they were part of the Hex, and that was kind of heartbreaking to know, because I knew that, oh, they don't exist. How are they gonna come to the MCU or something? But somehow, Billy had just hijacked this Kid Williams' body? I don't know. I definitely need to watch a breakdown video, because I'm, like, confused on how, like, technically Billy is alive. Just hijacked somebody's body or something. I don't know. Yeah, we got Wiccan, now we just need his twin brother Tommy, aka Speeder. That is a superhero name, right? Speeder? Also, in case I have not mentioned, I have come to realize as of this year that I am down bad for Aubrey Plaza. And I expected her to carry the show for me, which she did. Although, I would say this as a negative, that I felt like she was barely in the show. But then I realized that they have confirmed that this won't be the last time we see her character in the MCU, as she's definitely going to be showing up a lot more. And that would make sense for her to just show up in other MCU projects because, spoiler alert, she's Death. Now, this was another thing I was slightly spoiled about, mainly through a Funko Pop leak, but yes, no, she's Death. Technically, Thanos' love interest in the comics, or rather crush. Because in the comics, the reason Thanos wants to collect all 6 Infinity Stones is mainly to impress Death, as he happens to be a big simp for her. Well, knowing that Aubrey Plaza plays Death, I can't blame him. Now, honestly, they did it different in the movies, but I'm guessing they wanted to do a slight nod to Death from Phase 1 when that character that got killed off by Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy had mentioned something about to court Death. And the way Thanos smiles like, hey, yeah, I'm down bad for Death. I guess that's supposed to be a reference of that in the comics? I gotta know about that detail. I may not know everything about Marvel Comics, but I at least know a few things here and there, especially about why Thanos collected 6 Infinity Stones just to impress Death. Also, I can see why they had this Twitter emoji, Agatha Rio, because most of the fans were, like, shipping them hard, and we do get to see a kiss between the two of them at episode 8, which, by the way episode 8 was ending, I felt like, oh my god, we're already wrapping up the series, so why do we have a 9th episode? The 9th episode, we get to see a backstory to Agatha. Because early in the show, there was mentions about how she sold her child to the devil to get the Darkhold or something like that. And oh, speaking about devil, we finally have a confirmation of Mephisto, which he did not show up in the show. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm just glad we have a confirmation that, yeah, he's out there, just, we won't be seeing him until Ironheart. And why Ironheart? It was reported a while ago that this actor is going to be playing Mephisto, and he's going to be showing up in Ironheart for some reason. As the show is focused about tech versus magic. Since there is going to be magic involved, I guess that's where he can finally show up. But finally, because during WandaVision, we were all theorizing that, we were all convinced Mephisto was going to show up. And then disappointed, and that had basically traumatized us, and now we just have PTSD of the devil anywhere we see in an MCU project. But finally, he's confirmed that, yeah, he's out there, so thank freaking God. Now we just need to see this dude in person, which is going to be in Ironheart by June 24th of 2025. I'll say, throughout this entire show, Agatha was giving off Loki vibes, as she was clearly a snake, she cannot be trusted, much like Loki. And yeah, she is a villain after all, but I feel like this show has a similar vibe to Loki, where she goes from being a villain to, well, I could say hero, but I'm gonna go with anti-hero, because they're both very different, as Loki basically had a redemption arc. I could say the same for Agatha, but I guess she might as well be an anti-hero, because at the very end, I was surprised that she was killed off, as she got to kiss Death, and then just rest in peace. And then she just comes back to life as a freaking ghost, which I gotta say, she looks fantastic. I think she looks very accurate to what her character's supposed to look like in the comics. But I gotta say, episode 9 was pretty devastating to watch, having to see how Agatha was having her baby, and technically she was supposed to have it die at childbirth. But she asked Death for more time, and oh man, like, no, I got to care about Agatha a lot more watching this show, and just like, she wasn't all that... Okay, she maybe was a bit bad when she was killing witches, but she was gonna stop once her son asked her to. Like she was enjoying life, having her son by her side, until Death was like, alright, time's up. I gotta take your son away. Sorry, that was all the time I could give. But I'm glad we got to see what really happened to her son, because the truth is just rather painful. Because I guess she made up the rumor that, oh, she sold her child to get the Darkhold, but really, her kid had died, and it's just too painful to know the truth. But not gonna lie, I honestly kind of wanted to tear up with how she had lost her son to death. And I guess I can understand why she was evil. And actually, what blew my mind was that the Witch's Road didn't exist. She made the whole thing up just so she could take any witch's power. Basically, she made the whole Witch's Road an entire scam. And she was gonna kill the witches in the basement day one, but thanks to Wiccan creating the Witch's Road, that all changed. Like, what the hell? This never happened before. Which, by the way, that's the big twist about the Witch's Road. Wiccan was the one that created it. Much like Wanda when she created the Hex. Like mother, like son. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna become a Wanda stan after watching this show. Because there's a lot of massive fans, like Wanda stans, for the Scarlet Witch. I mean, I'm a fan of the Scarlet Witch, but I'm not like that crazy. Well, maybe because it's a little bit old, but still, I'm not like a massive fan like everybody else. But after watching the show, hell, I might as well join the club. But with how the show had ended, I'm honestly excited to see what comes next. And I'll be shocked if Marvel actually does a season 2, where that'll probably be focused on trying to find Tommy, unless that's going to be in a separate show. I don't know. I've heard reports that we could be getting shows that'll be part of this WandaVision trilogy or something like that. But I gotta say, I was surprised with how good the show was. I mean, like, obviously, I knew that going into it, like, okay, I take back any negative thing I said. The show is pretty decent. No, that's not what I got. After watching the last few episodes, I'm like, I take back any negative thing I said. This show is fantastic. So yeah, giving it 10 out of 10 may be a bit much, because I would want to give it an 8.5 out of 10, but like I mentioned, this show is just as good as WandaVision. Also, off topic, I feel like Rio and the Big Bad Wolf from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish would be really good friends, knowing how they are both death. But overall, those are just my thoughts with Agatha all along. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything important to mention other than that. Marvel's gonna want to bring back the Scarlet Witch. They were teasing her throughout, like, mainly the first episode. Yeah, technically she is confirmed to be dead in the MCU, but no, like, come on. Marvel's gonna want to bring her back. And I just hope to God this all comes to an end. And what comes to an end? Oh, the reports of, like, oh, the Scarlet Witch movie's happening, blah, 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 and all that. Will I want a Scarlet Witch movie? Sure. I'm down. But can we just stop with the reports on Twitter? Like, oh, it's happening. Like, just, when I hear it from Marvel Studios themselves, I will then be happy. Like, finally, we can stop these reports. Just like how we were getting sick and tired of rumors of, like, who's going to be the Fantastic Four. And finally, that came to an end earlier this February on Valentine's Day. I was like, finally, the casting rumors comes to an end. Because it was torture for the past 3 years having to figure out who was going to be Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and the Thing. So Marvel, if you are making a solo project of the Scarlet Witch, which I know for sure you are, and it will probably be after the Multiverse Saga, please announce it at Comic-Con or something. Like, just bring the rumors to an end, because I am sick and tired of seeing it on Twitter. Because I know, like, okay, that is not true. This is old news. Until I hear from Marvel, just, like, it's starting to irritate me. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on Agatha all along as Season 1. Well, I feel like this is a limited series like WandaVision, but again, I'll be shocked if we end up getting the second season. But overall, I'm excited to see where things go from here with how Season 1 had ended. But if you have seen the show, be sure to leave your thoughts, comments down below. And now, we just wait 2 more years until we get Vision Quest, where we'll finally know what the hell White Vision has been up to throughout this entire multiverse saga. And then finally see Ultron return, who I'm curious to see how he's gonna return, but I'm excited that Ultron is coming back into the MCU. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.